What's going on, everyone from LowKick MMA? My name is Dane Podolsky, and I'm joined with smiling Sam Alvey. He's set to return at B2 Fighting Series when he faces off against Cameron Graham. Sam, thank you so much for taking the time.
You're so welcome. Thank you for wanting me on, my friend.
And just first off, how you doing? How's training been going? And how you preparing for the fight?
Training's been going amazing. I mean, it's what every fighter will say. It's been going good, but it really has been. I've changed up everything because I'm not making as much as I was with the UFC. I'm not traveling as much, so I made a home circuit of gyms here in Tennessee, and it went very well.
And so you're going up to heavyweight. How much of a difference is that for you? And is it nice not having to worry about your weight?
It's not a huge difference for me. I accepted when I said, I mean, I knew when I accepted the fight, I was going to be the smaller opponent by probably 40 pounds. And I'm okay with that. I've trained with bigger guys. I've been a bigger guy. The nice part was I just didn't have to cut weight. So I'm walking around 230 and I'm able to stay around 230, give or take 5 pounds, given on what time of day you check my weight. So I'm excited for it. It's been the easiest weight cut because I don't have to cut anything. And I've been able to really just focus on, eating what I need to so I can get the training I need to.
And so when you were looking for a fight, were there other bigger promotions who reached out to you, or were you just kind of like, you know what, I'll take a small regional fight with B2?
I threw my name out everywhere and I was offered fights and I accepted probably 6 or 7 different fights around the world even. And then they all chickened out and said no, they didn't want to fight. They didn't want to risk the loss. So I reached out to the last organization I fought with before going on to the Ultimate Fighter was B2. I'm a commentator for him, so I'm on good terms with him now as well. Said, hey, I need a fight. I can't get anyone willing to fight me. You guys have someone? Said, if you're willing to fight heavyweight, we got the guy.
Fair enough. You've talked about bare knuckle at certain points. Is that something you're still interested in?
Yeah, 100%. I think it'd be a lot of fun. It's boxing is the one combat sport I've never competed in. So whether it's with gloves or without gloves, I'd be very interested in it. I've always been more of a boxer in my MMA career, anyways. So I get to go out there and not have to worry about getting kicked in the face.
Fair enough. Did you watch the Mike Perry Luke Rockhold fight? Is Mike Perry, would that be an opponent you'd want?
I did. I did a whole YouTube video on it too. I had a blast doing it. It is so much fun watching fights like that. It's like boxing, but they add that WWE element to it. Where on paper it was a mismatch. Mike Perry should not have won that fight. Should not have been in the ring with Luke Rockhold, but he went in there and won. They got to run their mouths. They got to have a good time with it, and it was. I really enjoyed the whole build up, and then the actual fight couldn't have been better.
Fair enough. And what are your goals going forward? Now that you're out of the UFC, you kind of have more freedom, but you're on the regional scene.
Yeah, so my eventual goal is I'll be president. But before the presidency, I just want to keep fighting. I'm going to make as much money as I can, as much money as I can with it. But I'm really rededicating myself to the introduction of the sport to everyone else. I'm pushing real hard on my social media, my own YouTube page, my Instagram, my TikToks, my little bit of everything. Really trying to find a way to introduce people who may not be fans of the sport into the sport. I've been told I'm a very friendly fella, and I'm a good introduction for those moms that don't want their kids to ever get into MMA. I've been told that I'm the kind of fighter that you want to introduce your mom to.
I can definitely agree with the friendly aspect. And going forward, like how much longer you're 37, how much longer do you see yourself, competing at that level?
As long as I can afford to do it, I'll do it forever. And that well, I should say as long as I can afford to do it, and as long as I'm not getting hurt. I've been very blessed with my career. I don't have any lingering injuries. As much as everyone wants to remember me being a stand and bang kind of guy, it's never been the kind of fighter I am. I've always been a counter fighter who tends to hit somebody when they try to hit me. I know my last couple fights I got hit a few times, but overall I've got over 80 fights. I've only been really hit a few times. So I've got that longevity built into me a little bit. If ever I start fading, if ever something starts, bothering me long term, then I'll pull the plug and I'll go my separate route. But I still feel great.
And for this upcoming fight, Cameron Graham, have you gone to watch, the footage on him, and what do you think gives you the advantage over him?
Yeah, so Cam he actually fought last week, and he beat the guy in 3 or 4 minutes or something. Uh, So disadvantage is I'm giving up probably about 40 or 50 pounds. I thought 40, but then I saw him. I was like, shit, he's big. He might be 50 pounds. um, and I think the biggest thing I'm going to have is I have that knockout power. I'm a big enough guy to hang with anyone, and I've got the experience. I mean, I have fought with some of the best in the world. I beat Rashad Evans. He is not. He's fought some good guys. He's had some very entertaining fights, and I'm really looking forward to our fight. You know, just for the entertainment value that it could provide for the fans. But I think the I've been a little bit of everywhere, and he hasn't.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Now, I gotta ask, do you feel at all kind of disrespected by some of the newer UFC fans who may only know you for, the later end of your career where you ended on that losing streak and don't know?
All those bastards. No, you know what? At the end of the day, whether they know about me because I was great or know about me because I ended poorly, they know about me. Uh, and that's something. I don't want to say I never did it for the fans because I do. I love the fans. I wouldn't have had a career without the fans. But at the end of the day, I'm a daddy. I'm a husband. I'm a man that way first. I don't need the adoration of the millions of new MMA fans that it's caught me on the last stretch of my career. I did everything I could to represent myself and my family as best I could. I made it to top 10 at one point in my career, and I finished closer to top 100, but I was still in that top echelon. So whether they hate me or love me on social media doesn't really matter to me. If they ever meet me in person, hopefully I'll make them a fan then.
Fair enough. When it's all said and done, what's your legacy?
My kids, I got 6 of them, and that's for now. Who knows? I might end up with a few more. Uh, I had this really sad thought the other day. So in a billion years from now, nobody will have. I mean, I will hardly be a speck of dust on the earth. Nobody will remember. But for the next 2 or 3 generations, I can leave a lasting impression on my kids and my grandkids and my great grandkids. And so, as much as I do in the sport, amazing. Hopefully, I can help some new guys get into the sport. Hopefully, I can help train some UFC fighters. Hopefully, I can help advance careers that way. But at the end of the day, my legacy is my children, my family. I love them to death. I'm raising them to be better than me at everything, and hopefully, they're all good at baseball.
Fair enough. Baseball, would you want your kids to train MMA at all?
Oh, they've been. Honest to God, all my kids have been to the gym before they've been home. They're born. We went to the gym, then we went home. All of them, uh, and so they will all know how to beat someone up. But they have got the genetics to be athletic monsters. My wife is more athletic than I could ever wish to be. I have pushed myself from an unathletic kid to being one of the best in the world, and my kids have those genetics to be good at something. I hope it's not. I know. I hope it's not MMA. I hope they're better at football or baseball or soccer or rugby or something that pays a little more.
Fair enough, but you let your kids fight.
Oh yeah, 100%. They've all got gloves. My garage, I turned it into a gym so my kids can go out there and beat each other up whenever they want. Down, bad part is they're all young. 100% chance 2 or 3 of them are going to cry anytime they fight or spar or train, but it's just what it is.
Fair enough. Now, switching gears a little bit, one of your good friends, Sean Strickland, he's
Yeah,
got he's got a big main event fight coming up against Abus Magomedov. How do you see that one playing out for him?
I don't know the guy he's fighting. I know he's Russian and I know he's not ranked or like number 15 or something. So I know it's a big risk for Sean. Thing about Sean is he beats everyone up. He just does. He travels the world trying to find gyms that he's not kicked out of, so he can go and spar him. And he walks into gyms and he beats everybody up. So I will never bet against him. I think if he gets a rematch against anyone that's ever beaten him, Sean beats them the second time around. So I'm taking Sean, but I'm very, very biased.
Fair enough. And I want to get your thoughts. Israel Adesanya knocked out Alex Pereira. What are your thoughts on that? And then what are your thoughts on the upcoming fight between Robert Whitaker and Dricus Du Plessis? And how do you see that middleweight, title picture playing out?
So the title shot with Alessandro, I picked it. I thought he was going to win it, so he won it. I think I had something to do with his victory. As far as the Whitaker was the better fighter. Maybe he still is. I, I, Whitaker is kind of like Max Holloway. He can't beat everybody. It just can't happen. He has to find that guy that can beat him outside of the champion. Uh, I'm not picking against Whitaker, but I know he's probably not supposed to win.
Fair enough. Do you think your guy Sean Strickland, if Whitaker beats Duplessis and Sean Strickland gets the win, do you think you could see Strickland getting a title shot just because
I,
Izzy's already beaten Whitaker twice?
yeah, I think Whitaker would get the shot first. I mean, he is the bigger draw. I don't know who wins the third fight. I think Sean beats Whitaker, and I think Sean's got the toughest match of the division is against Stylebender, just stylistically.
Fair enough. And I gotta ask this one question because I was going through, your Tapology page a few days ago, and I see Sam Alvey versus Paul Bradley fight stopped due to rainfall. What is the story with that one?
Yeah, so I was fighting for King of the Cage up in Lake in the Torches Casino up in northern Wisconsin. And it was an outdoor event. It was beautiful all day. I actually got a bad sunburn from earlier in the day. I was the main event. Co-main event, it started raining about halfway through. The promoter came up and said, "Hey, if you guys agree to fight, it'll be a no contest no matter what because of the rain. But we'll give an extra $1,000 to the winner." So Paul and I said, "Yeah, forget it, let's do it." So yeah, let's do it. So we went out there and it was pouring. I mean, it was like a movie scene. It was pouring rain on us. And we went out there and we both slipped immediately. He kind of shot. I hit him. I slipped. He slipped on top. It was a slip and slide for 5 minutes. And then at the end of the first round, the owner of the casino came out and said, "I'm putting a stop to it. You guys are going to hurt yourselves." And so we split the $1,000. We each got 500 each, and we went home.
First of all, that's awesome, man. It's one of the cooler stories I've heard. I can definitely relate to the sunburns with the red hair, so I respect that.
Yeah, yeah, the curse of ginger.
Where's the ginger? And just my final question, man. Next week you're in your fight, Cameron Graham, Sam Alvey. How's this one go down?
I got to knock him out. I am at 19 professional knockouts in MMA. This will be my 20th. I wanted it to be in the UFC. I want it to be in B2FS right now.
Mhm. Well, fair enough, Sam. Always a pleasure getting chance to talk to you. I'm wishing you the best of luck, and thank you so much for taking the time.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much, sir.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.